Hello, welcome back. I hope you're having an amazing day. Today I'm going to share with you 5 ways to deal with guilt when you are decluttering. The goal is to be able to declutter the things that you no longer need or no longer want and not feel guilty about that. I feel when you're decluttering, you should be happy and energized and excited about the decluttering process, because by getting rid of the items that you don't need, that are clogging up your lifestyle and maybe even your mind, it frees up that space for new things to come into your life. And it doesn't necessarily have to be junk or things or items, but maybe new experiences or a new path in life. And I just think getting rid of that clutter really helps. At least it helped me open my mind, and also it helped me get a clear perspective of what I really want out of life right now. So let's get started. Number 1 on my list is, if you are keeping something because you feel bad that you spent money on the item, so therefore you should keep it forever. And honestly, this makes no sense at all, because if you spent the money on the item but you know you will never use it, it's not bringing you any kind of happiness, then why would you want to keep that as a reminder of something that you literally wasted your money on? So I like to keep that into perspective when I do get rid of things, even if they are items that I spent a little bit more money on. I tell myself, okay, this is a learning experience, and from this point on, I am not going to be as willing to part with my money. I'm going to be more picky and make sure I really need and want something before I buy it, and that takes away the guilt when I go to donate that item. Number 2 is, when you are able to donate something, you're actually giving that item to somebody who can use it. So maybe you can sell it or give it away for free on Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp. There's so many different places where you can offer your items for free, and then people that really need or want those items can find them. And if you want to, you could give them to the Goodwill or a thrift store, or find a friend who might need it. But you shouldn't feel guilty about that, because those items are going to people and places that can really use them and need them. Number 3 on my list is, you feel that you don't want to declutter something because you might need it in the future. Let me tell you about a little story from my personal experience. We had a computer, a laptop that I had from 2008, and I used it all the way up until I think 2012 or 2013, when I got a new computer. And I really didn't use that laptop very often, if at all. And then at one point I finally just packed it away and thought, I'm gonna save this, so in case I need it, I can pull it out. Well, fast forward to 2016, when I started all this decluttering process and really started to get into this. I opened that computer, tried to start it up, and it's completely dead. Not just the battery. The thing would come up just all crazy static. There was nothing I could do to get it to work. So I saved that computer for I don't know how many years without using it, without it even working, for no reason at all. So for me, that is why I just do not save items for just in case. I feel like if you haven't used it in 6 months or a year, then you probably are never going to use it. And there's one way that you can test this, is put the item away, pack it in a box, and mark donate if not used in 6 months. And if you don't find yourself opening that box or needing the items in that box, then you know you can just donate those items without any kind of guilt or fear that you might need the item. Number 4 kind of builds on the last 3, but pretty much, if you are saving items that you are not using, that don't bring you joy, you will constantly be reminded that that item is being stored for no reason, and that you either spent the money or you feel guilt that it's a sentimental item but you don't want it. And I have another example of a sentimental item that I was given from a family member, and I won't name any names, but it was from a family member that was handed down from another family member, and it was a set of 3 items. And I know for a fact that these items were not actually made by the person that was passed away. And they did remind me of the person, but I had no attachment to these items. I have no idea where they came from. And what I decided to do after talking to my mom about it is to keep one instead of all three, because the one item will remind me of that person, and I do have it on display, but I didn't need all three. So that's one way to go about it, is you can whittle down the sentimental items, just keeping a few that maybe really remind you of the person that the sentimental item is connected to, or the memory. We shouldn't have to feel guilty about getting rid of items, even if they are sentimental items, because when we are eventually gone, those items are going to be gone as well. I don't think 100 years from now, those items are going to still be passed down through the generations. So if for some reason the item is not bringing you joy, it's clogging up your storage unit or your closet, I just do not see the point, and I don't feel that we should feel guilty for donating those items or giving them away. In all my experience of donating and decluttering, there has not been one time where I regretted an item, and I think that's because most of the items that I'm usually on the fence for keeping or donating are pretty inexpensive, and I know that if for some reason I had to repurchase this item, it would not be super expensive. But honestly, in the 2+ years that I have decluttered my entire home, our lives, there has not been one time where I went out and had to repurchase something. So just keep that in mind if you are afraid that you're gonna feel guilty that you have to buy something again. I think it's more important to just focus on the items that you really want and use, and get those items organized and get rid of the rest, because it really can hold you back from a lot of things if you are constantly having to sort through junk that you don't use. And number 5 is to think of all the positive aspects and the positive things that will come from decluttering. And what I mean by that is, for me at least, when I decluttered, I found that I really enjoyed being in my home more. Everything just seemed to go a lot smoother. When I'm cleaning, it's a lot easier and quicker. I'm not having to spend as much time tidying and organizing that I once had to do. And for a long time, especially after having kids, I was constantly trying to come up with a way to organize things instead of decluttering. So I would move things from one closet to another closet. I would buy, those storage bins with boxes, trying to think of a way to somehow fit all this stuff into our condo in an organized way. And then it finally dawned on me that we just had way too much stuff. And we were never hoarders. We never, shopped all that much, but honestly, things just accumulate. And if you aren't decluttering, it will just grow on you. And I don't feel that we should feel guilty about wanting to streamline our lives and get rid of the things that we don't need. Hopefully by staying positive, you won't feel any guilt when it comes to decluttering. Make sure you click right here to see our entire year of decluttering our home and lives. And if you're new here, you can hit the subscribe button to join our Simple Living channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye.